Well, good morning, everybody. Forecaster Josiah Acheampong here. Starting off with our sky cam view out toward Bushland, which you'll notice in the background, you might be saying, what's all that kind of low-lying stuff? Well, that's actually a rain shield there, rain curtain rather. It looks like some weak showers are between Bushland and Amarillo at this time. Possibly putting down a couple of sprinkles across the area, but again, it looks to be fairly light. Most of it may not even be making it to the ground, but it probably is in some instances. Taking a look at our radar, we'll notice again some of those weak showers developing along just east of Amarillo, just north of I-40, and then to our north, the heaviest batches of rain still setting over portions of Texas County, just south and east of Guyman. Even some flashes of lightning, so some might be waking up with a couple rumbles of thunder this morning. Last night, that's part of the area, especially in north and eastern counties, that picked up some really good rain amounts, anywhere between 2 to 3 inches. They could be collecting a bit more later on tonight. I'll have more on our rain chances coming up in just a little bit. But first, right now, Amarillo is sitting at 65 degrees, winds coming out of the south southwest at 16 miles an hour, and a dew point at 59. So it's feeling cool and refreshing today. But the winds coming out of the south southwest, it's helping to pump in some of that, some of the mild air that we'll need to have our temperatures respond nicely later this afternoon above average. Temperatures currently 61 for Clovis and Portales, 63 for Shamrock, 68 in Borger, and 63 for Dalhart at this hour. Now, as you prepare for your day, cooler to begin the morning. Now, as we head into this afternoon around lunchtime, temperatures are going to rise into the 80s, but they're not going to stop there. They're going to keep soaring and eventually land into the lower 90s. Again, feeling more like we're in the middle of July than it does the beginning of September toward the end of summer. We're going to pair those warm conditions with those clear skies, but it's not all perfect everywhere. We do have a level 1 out of 5 risk, a marginal risk for severe storms for today. And the main threats will be this, especially for some of our stronger severe storms. Lime-sized hail, winds up to 70 miles an hour, and isolated flooding events can't be ruled out, although the risk remains low at this time. Now let's run our model, because as we go into this evening, after we have a mild afternoon, we'll have the possibility of showers trying to make their way through eastern New Mexico. However, it looks like the bulk of the rain wants to stay to areas north. So if you're in the Oklahoma Panhandle, some of our northern counties, you might cash in on some additional rainfall. The question is, what's the southern extent of that rain? In the model here, you're kind of seeing this kind of like tail that's left over here. What's left over from that? How many people are actually seeing rain out of that? That's kind of the question. And does it actually end up happening? Or does the bulk of the rain stay to the north? I'm kind of keen on the moisture staying to the north just based off of its trajectory, but you never know what can happen with these storms. Heading into Wednesday morning, temperatures in the 60s will warm up nicely yet again into the lower 90s. While there is the possibility of storms trying to make their way off of the Rockies and the Santa Crystal Mountains, I do think they'll fizzle out before they make it into the Panhandles region. Looks like this model did an update and is a little bullish on the idea of storms making their way into the Panhandles area. So we'll keep an eye on that for any developments. But at this point in time, not so convinced right now. Heading into Thursday, we have another mild day in front of us with highs approaching the 90-degree mark yet again. Here are what my main concerns are for tonight's severe threats. It's going to be the wind, it's going to be the hail if they come about, and then the tornado and flooding threats remain low at this time. Now, taking a look at the next 2 days, today highs in the lower 60s. We stay clear for most of us for tonight. Can't rule out an isolated scattered storm across the area, but it does favor areas north. And tomorrow, highs reaching the lower 90s. Taking a look at our next weather maker, what we'll notice is this high pressure will settle over the southern plains. It'll stay there throughout much of this week. Now, as we head into the weekend, it'll gradually weaken. And now there's this area here to our north over portions of Montana and Wyoming. Looks like an upper level disturbance is trying to swing through. The question is, how much of that actually makes it into our area, if anything at all? So there's some questions in regards to that. So when we take a look at our 7 day tracker, highs for the next couple of days in the 90s, above average, about 5 to 6 degrees or so. We try and cool down by the weekend, and that's going to be due to the weakening of that high pressure and those storm chances trying to creep up as we approach next week. So be sure to enjoy today. Make sure to remain weather aware. Have two ways of getting alerts, especially if you have any outdoor extracurricular activities or programmings that you'd like to attend, because we'd hate for the rain to interfere with that. All right, you guys all take care. Join us for our midday show. If not, then Matt will have an update for you guys at 5 p.m.